18 minutes after 8, this is Cornwall's Pirate FM, Friday the 24th of June. Some sunny spells, but feeling muggy again today. Highs of 18 Celsius. It's looking fairly overcast for the weekend. We're on Facebook Live at the moment. Good morning if you are watching on Facebook. The big news this morning, the UK has voted to leave the European Union. England, leave. Scotland, remain. Wales, leave. Northern Ireland, remain. What now for the United Kingdom, Tristan?
Oh, well, thanks for that. Can you start me with an easier one and we'll sort of lead up to it? Well, who knows? Because you're absolutely right. Overall, the Out campaign won with 51.9% of the vote in Cornwall. One of the last places to declare, incidentally, because we were doing it directly, by a majority of 42,000, the Brexit camp won by. In fact, let's just take a listen to that declaration.
And having been authorised to do so by the regional counting officer, I hereby give notice that I have certified the following. The total number of ballot papers counted was 323,442. The total number of votes cast in favour of Remain was 140,540. The total number of votes cast in favour of Leave was 182,665. The number of ballot papers rejected was as follows. No official mark, 0. Both answers voted for, 71. Writing or mark by which the voter could be identified, 0. And unmarked or void for uncertainty, 166. The total number of ballot papers rejected was 237. Thank you very much to all the staff that have been involved with this evening.
So that was the confirmation of Cornwall's announcement made in the early hours of this morning. UKIP leader Nigel Farage says a dawn is breaking on an independent United Kingdom. Well, not quite yet, because it's still going to take a couple of years for us to negotiate our exit. He's called on the Prime Minister, who campaigned to stay in the EU, to resign. Well, I can tell you right now, David Cameron is making a statement in Downing Street with Sam Cam by his side. He is saying the British people have voted to leave the European Union and their will must be respected. Now, the referendum has seen the pound suffer one of its biggest ever plunges in value. The Bank of England says it is monitoring developments closely and will take all necessary steps to ensure financial stability. I have to tell you, though, this morning the FTSE is tanking. £120 billion wiped off shares since 8 o'clock this morning, and who knows if that is the ground floor or not. You may well wonder, so why is it that we care about the FTSE 100? I don't care about these big companies. Well, in fact, you might do in a roundabout kind of way, because your pensions may well be invested in some of these big companies, some of these big, huge Barclays, Lloyds, etc., down by about 30% in just, 20 minutes or so. Now, if the pound keeps going down, well, one government source telling us this morning we could see petrol prices rise by the weekend. That would be the first sign of the economic impact to you and I and our everyday lives as well. Meanwhile, Cornwall Council is asking for urgent assurances from the government that we will keep our £60 million a year in handouts that come from the EU, that has been lavished on things like Newquay Airport, on superfast broadband, for example, on all sorts of things, upgrading the A30 as well. So this comes off the back, incidentally, of Boris coming down here to launch his campaign and saying we can use some of that £350 million a week that he said we sent to the EU to help continue propping up Cornwall. He was saying that on a bus in which that figure was emblazoned on the side, suggesting we could also give some of that to the NHS. Well, this morning, I can tell you that Nigel Farage has said that was a mistake. Promising that was an absolute mistake. David Cameron still speaking, saying we now must prepare for a negotiation with the European Union. Above all, this will require strong, determined and committed leadership. And he is also listing the government's achievements to date. I have to tell you, certainly in the last hour or so, absolutely no confirmation of this whatsoever, but there have been rumours sweeping Westminster that he was going to resign. Whether or not that is what is about to happen, frankly, this remains one of the biggest speeches that he has ever had to make of his career. He put everything he had on red, and it ended up coming up black. The fact that he is standing outside 10 Downing Street right now speaking with Samantha Cameron, his wife, next to him, would also indicate to some extent that actually he might be about to announce something really quite major, although I suspect today is going to be a day of major announcements. He is saying it is time for the country to have fresh leadership, to take it in a fresh direction. I'll do everything as I can as a minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months, but I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination. David Cameron, the Prime Minister, has resigned on the day that he lost the big Brexit vote. Going to have more on this throughout the day right here at Cornwall's Pirate FM.